you are going to get your users involved at the very start of your development process. I would like to call it a minimum lovable product because we want to make something that people love, right? If you stick around, I'm going to prove it's not only possible, but it's actually very practical. Today, I'm going to show you how to take an app from zero to launch in just about 12 weeks. And it could be an AI application, anything, right? If you have experience building applications in the past, you would say that does sound impossible. However, if you stick around, I'm going to prove it's not only possible, but it's actually very practical. So let's dive into this today. But just to agree with a few of you skeptics out there, I know that only 16% of software products are completed on time and within budget. Now that is a shocking statistic, but people who are in the field, they know that is not that shocking. But it is not going to be your reality if you follow the plan that I'm going to be sharing. Here is going to be a step-by-step guide to ensure that you launch and are market ready with an app in just 12 weeks. So let's start with week 1. This is what I call pre-development. You're not building any code at this time. And this is going to be the foundation week where you are going to have some thorough planning. And this is where the planning takes place. Here is what you need to do. So first, we kick things off with a meeting that includes everyone involved in the project. Everyone, not just the CEO or the startup founder. The developers, the designers, and the project manager. So these people actually discuss everything from the app's purpose to the target audience to financial models. We like to go through the following process in this. Number 1 is going to be list all users, buyers, sellers, let's say if it's a marketplace app, patients, doctors, nurses, case managers, whoever is involved. We have to list all users so we know what is going to be the hierarchy in the application. And user management is one of the most important aspects of any application. From this, we take the next step. We identify the goal for each of these users and the features that all of these people require for this application. Then something we call shedding, and we cut out any features that aren't essential because we are going for the minimum viable product, or I would also call it the minimum lovable product. So now you have all the ideas for your minimum viable or minimum lovable product. So I would like to call it a minimum lovable product because we want to make something that people love, right? Now at the end of this process, I like to do one thing that a lot of software companies don't do because they only want to do software. What can be done without development, without coding? What can be done manually? Sometimes when you do something manually, you're able to get your product off the ground quickly and you can validate your idea and you can validate your product quickly. So by the end of this week, you should have a clear understanding of the app's essential features and a detailed project map. Remember that this planning session is crucial. If you don't respect this phase and you feel that this is just all talk and no action, it will come back to bite you later. Because of course, as the saying goes, if you fail to plan, you basically plan to fail. Now, next is going to be our weeks 2 through to 5. And these are going to be dedicated for UI and UX, design, user interface. And here is going to be a breakdown of what happens in these weeks. One thing is going to be very important that a lot of companies, startups, development teams skip out on. User recruitment. You are going to find actual users, representatives of your target audience for testing. Now, this is not putting the horse before the cart. And a lot of startups or even established businesses, they don't go through this phase and then they realize later that they have to build the code again, change a few things over, throw some pages out, put some new pages in. Instead of getting your users after you have developed your application, you are going to get your users involved at the very start of your development process. All right, so next what we call is something called medium fidelity designs. Now, you are creating non-working designs that capture around 80% of the app's look. So these are actually good designs that people can look at and actually look and feel, oh yeah, this is what is going to work for us. You're going to take these designs and show it to your target audience that you have selected and gather feedback from these users on these designs. Now, then of course you will have design iterations, and this will address major concerns based on their feedback, and you will learn so much. They will be helping you develop the product because they want it. They want a solution like this. They will provide you feedback about what they need, and your original plans may actually change at this point. And after this, we will go for something called high fidelity designs. Now, this will look to finalize how the app will look. Then we will have a Figma prototype, and people who are not aware of what Figma is, very easy, very nice software. And on Figma, you can simulate navigation through the app as a user, and it's really helpful. So if you're not aware of Figma, find out figma.com, I believe, and you can see that. Then once the designs are finalized, we hand them off to the development team. Meanwhile, the design team actually works on the app's landing page and app store screenshots. So all of these things are happening in tandem, and you're getting ready for your launch. You already have your end users feedback incorporated, and you're just going to go through with the development from now on. Now let's talk about the weeks moving forward. There's going to be some overlap. We talked about week 2 to week 5, but now we're going to talk about week 2 to 11, and this is where the product development is happening, and this is where the coding magic actually happens, and all the different bells and whistles and the backends and everything is connected. Whether you need to integrate AI, you need to integrate cloud platforms, anything else, this is where things are going to be happening. Now, the development team works on both the backend and the front end, and they will be ensuring that everything is built according to the project roadmap. Now, we tend to follow anything. It could be in the agile methodology, it could be waterfall, and we look to break down our work into chunks of weekly sprints, having daily stand-ups, and try to make sure that everybody is on track. And at the end of the week, we see where we are at. So every piece of code goes through rigorous reviews, and you need to ensure that it meets usability, security, and all types of performance standards. The project manager or somebody called a quality assurance engineer, they do checks, they repeat and test, and they look to also see if this matches their UI and UX designs and the flows that have been previously designed. And there should actually be a continuous review and testing process. This ends up saving you time because you catch issues early, and you look to avoid major headaches down the line. Because as you know, sometimes you have a senior developer doing these projects. You may have a junior developer doing certain aspects, because it could happen that somebody makes a mistake and they don't connect things properly. So there has to be a mechanism, a proofreading approach that picks up any of these issues. Now we are ready and we're done with our, let's say, 12 weeks. And this is going to be week 13, and we are looking to launch and then iterate, and it's time to go live. So you can end up launching your application on the Google Play Store, the Apple App Store. At this point, you optimize your app, your store app's presence. You need to have well-created titles, screenshots, descriptions, maybe even a video, a demo video. And of course, you need to have a clear and effective landing page to support your launch, your website. Clear and effective, not really too fancy, exactly what your product does and who it actually helps. And you can, of course, improve upon that and build upon that as you want. So let's recap the key takeaways to ensure that your apps are successful by the end of your 12 weeks. So number one, of course, we talked about proper planning. Understand your target audience and gather detailed requirements. Then number two, weekly assessments. Address problems early to avoid piling up of issues. Another thought, number three, could be use templates. Templates actually help speed up development with pre-made common features. Then an important point is real user feedback. Iterate based on real pain points. And as I told you, that we like to incorporate your users, your target audience, at the beginning stages of your app development. Then it would be important to make sure you keep on focusing on your major points and what is the value you're going to provide and how does that replicate in code and design. So prioritize the important aspects and don't get bogged down with scope creep. That is something what we call scope creep, meaning you are adding or different features are creeping in, and this ends up delaying your product launch as well as leading to excessive costs. So I do hope that this gives you a bird's eye view of this whole process. And there are so many things I missed. I believe there are multiple things that I missed. This was just to get you going, especially if you've never had experience with developing a mobile application in the past, especially if you are a non-tech business leader or a founder. Well, let me know what you think. If you had experiences, what do you think about this roadmap that I have? Thanks for watching, and create something great every single day. Thank you.